All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful day. I got another watch list for you, but this one is special. I cannot tell you how hyped I am for this. We have Jerome Powell tomorrow. The report comes out at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then 30 minutes later at 2:30, we are going to hear from Jerome Powell at the press conference, and there will be other information and new things, and that will be the main event. But there is a lot riding on tomorrow. Literally, the hot inflation report from a couple of weeks ago, and even how the market has been trading after the movements today. We are back down to that 20% bear market low and near the new low. So it's not good. The 10-year is at that level. Global currencies, even down to China, are going crazy. And even this morning, you had bad German data with PPI. Highest PPI data since World War II. And then you had the Swedish bank surprising with 100 basis points. And then on top of it, you had Putin. I don't even know what Putin did, and it affected, not affected. It was crazy, but the point is there is a lot riding at this meeting. There is a lot already coming into it, but now I have a lot to show you, and this is why I'm excited, because we can really simplify everything. We're going to go over the last couple of Fed meetings, go over a little bit of statistics and all that. I even had a Chad email me with a good question that we're going to go over, but there's just literally two simple things that will make all of tomorrow easy to read. So with all that being said, we're going to go over that, the keys, the plays, and then I'm going to simplify it for you. But if you've missed any of the watch list, if you feel that you are not caught up or still have any questions, I'm telling you, come on the live stream tomorrow, youtube.com/the stock market. I am sure we're going to be talking about this all day, and a lot of people are going to have questions, but realistically, that will be our opportunity to recap everything. So if you don't even understand what a basis point is, if you don't understand the Fed futures and how they've moved and all that, again, this is what we've been covering on all of these watch lists. That's why you got to follow along. But come on stream tomorrow. That's going to be the main focus. So I hope you're ready. Chad, I got the money shirt on. It's going to be exciting. Run it, baby.
Working to the couch, it's the 2020 election. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a live, but I still reinvest it. Feel how I feel, then you feel like it's a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down.
So right off the bat, Chad, I'm not going to get into the first key. I'm literally going to start with the first simple thing that you need to be watching tomorrow, and that is 2 hours into the day. Usually that is 8:30, the European close, but the trend over the last FOMCs, we have noticed either trends continuing or things really flipping after the second hour. So I want you to see what happened here over the last 3 Fed meetings, and this is going to tie into some of the scenarios that I have for tomorrow. But the thing I want you to see is how a lot of the moves occur in the first 2 hours, but in this case, the next 4 hours, that will be the next day. But just notice how we've moved, and I want you to compare them. But last one, that is the one there in yellow. Remember, it was very positive both after the meeting, right off the bat, even into the next day. It was very, very big. And then June, that's the one where we dropped initially at first, popped back up, and that was a 1% drop right when it was announced, and then we came up a little bit towards close to unchanged, and then the next day it was absolutely abysmal. And then May was kind of a mix of both, where you dropped a little bit after the release and then went up and then dropped. But pretty much 2 hours after the release, that is going to be from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. How that sets us up, you really want to see. Is it going to be positive or negative? But that should give us direction, and then where you go from there, it's going to be all about whether the move was positive or negative by the time we get to close. But even that first 30 minutes too, it will really give you a highlight. Is it immediately up or immediately down? I'm telling you, this is something you're going to want to watch out for. But now, to give you kind of more background into this, again, all about tomorrow is going to be what Powell says and how the market interprets it. But a lot of people are bringing up how the market has moved moved at these past FOMCs. So coming into today, we were down about 4% in the 10 days leading into the FOMC. That's what we're waiting for. But last month in July, we actually were positive 5.8 10 days before the FOMC and then continued for another 4.6%. In June, we dropped 7%. 10 days later, we had a gain of 0.8, May, and then so on and so forth. You guys can see it. But essentially, the main key right here is that there's the move after the release, there's the next day coming into Thursday, and then where you end up by both the end of the week, those last 2 days, and then the next week. That is what a lot of people are going to be eyeing, and that's where we're going to be watching a lot of trends. So that's the first thing you got to be watching for. But now, getting into the first key, and this one is more specific to the Fed tomorrow. Like I said, ask the questions on stream if you have them. The size of the rate hikes, we've talked about that. That will be important, and that is one of the bigger issues, and people are definitely talking about the dot plot. Where is the projected path? But now, the summary of economic projections, the SEP, I don't want you to forget this. Somebody asked me this question in the morning, and I was like, no, we'll probably get that with the minutes or the last time. Pretty much, this only happens every quarter. So the last time we got this was 3 months ago. I wasn't really thinking about it, but I saw other analysts talking about it after hours, and I was like, well, I guess it is big. I mean, when it's all said and done, last time we got an update on this was in June, and that was a very big move. Again, even on the chart, that's where we had the big 3% down day over the next couple of days. But as you can see from this chart, this shows the Fed's projections on the GDP, the PCE, core inflation, and even where they think Fed rates are going to be. So why this is so important, the only thing we've heard from Powell lately is that there's going to be pain. Well, this might actually give us now some real numbers describing the pain. So this is what I'm saying. If you want to simplify tomorrow, obviously the amount of rate hikes, that's going to be key, but you'll find that out right at 2 p.m. That is already priced in for the most part. We will see if there is a surprise. Again, I brought it up yesterday, even today, even though 75 basis points is priced in and 100 shouldn't happen, there are some people and some banks who are saying, nah, it actually could happen and this would be the opportunity. So we'll see, but as of now, the Fed futures are not pricing that in, and we're going to find out tomorrow if Powell wants to break that 60-year trend. But like I'm saying, tomorrow is going to be pretty simple as far as the rates and all of that. But if you really want to see what is going to move the market, these summary of economic projections, if they're really bad and they say bad forecasts from the Fed on GDP, even employment, even where the Fed thinks the Fed futures or the Fed's rate will be, that alone can drive everything all across the board and could fuel any of the bond movements that we've been seeing already. So that's the second one. Keep that in mind. But like I'm saying, that could really simplify tomorrow, but we're going to see tomorrow as we get there. But now, here is the next key, and shout out to Stafford, bro. He was the only one who emailed me. Maybe you guys don't believe me anymore when I say email me questions on that. Maybe that's my fault. I don't know, but God bless you, Stafford. Here was the question alongside of it, but he was saying, what are we going to do leading into it? And honestly, I was already going to talk about this. I still think 75 basis points is negative. I brought this chart up yesterday. Again, the probabilities, again, of 75 last week, that was already a negative event. So I think it's going to be negative, but now we have a whole trading day up until Powell speaks at 2. I think we could rally coming into the report. I know, assuming there's no other external events, then I think we can. I believe that today. I made a play. We're going to go over it, but overall, I really thought we would have saw that today if we didn't get bad German data and then the Swiss thing or the Sweden thing, but mainly that Putin stuff towards the end of the day. And even how we closed wasn't that bad, but we had a decent move, and I am thinking that we can move up, and I am leaning more towards a bullish leading into the report, but honestly, it's going to come down to what we wake up to in the morning. But keep that in mind as far as my two scenarios now with what we're seeing here. And it might be a little difficult to read because keep in mind, 2 hours in will be the bell, and then it's just going straight into the next 4 hours afterwards. But I'm just watching the 2 hours there and where we go from report to close and early signs of negative or positive. And then again, any signals in the summary of economic projections, that should be an idea to get sentiment, but I'm thinking we're either going to rip initially and then sell off coming into it, or kind of close a little high and then even sell a little after hours, or I think we immediately drop right when the report comes out, and then we start to see the bounce kind of into the morning, and then we sell off a lot harder coming into the next day, and then Thursday and Friday. But overall, like I'm saying with the time frames and just coming back to the chart, that first hour is so crucial, and that's why I'm saying the initial signs of being negative, if you watch an initial move, and I think you'll get that from the SCP, if it is negative, I think it's going to lead into a negative coming into the next morning. But if it is immediately positive, I mean, be on the lookout for that. Anytime that's happened, it has been good. But all in all, it depends on what we get, depends on the level of rate hikes. And then during the press conference, if Powell says anything new, or those summary of economic projections bring up anything new, that is ultimately going to drive anything. So I have these scenarios. I can't predict what is going to happen, but I'm thinking about how the market can move, what the data would be, and then really it's going to be up to interpretation, just like all the other Fed meetings, and then even Jackson Hole, and then being able to position from there. So I hope you're ready. And finally, before I get into anything, man, 100 basis points, that shouldn't happen tomorrow. We keep talking about this, but I will tell you now, if it does happen, some people are calling for it. That would be pure panic, and just get ready to sell everything. Remember I told you Powell is driving, or he's not driving, he's in the back seat? Well, if he did 100 basis points, that would be like Powell saying, hold on, give me the wheel. Market, you have been pricing 75, and we followed you for 60. But yeah, you know, he ain't going to do it. So had to throw that one in there. But let us get into the play. So, right off the bat, I got 3 stocks that I'm looking at coming into tomorrow. You should know most of them. One of them is going to be a future, and it's kind of interesting, but I really think you'll like it, and I do like the play. And then finally, just keep in mind those bank stocks. I think they had an important role today, but keep watching those, especially after tomorrow. Depending on what signals we get from anything, that can move a lot. But as far as the first play, I gotta relate it to the craziness we saw today. LMT, baby. Just keep an eye on the defensive names. Even them, NOC, Raytheon, and all of them. But these plays can quickly fade if nothing happens. But what we saw today, all of the Russia tension plays, they came back up. So what happened was Putin said he was going to announce something like this special meeting. People thought he was going to mobilize troops and expand the operation, the special operation, or even declare war. Again, just kind of escalating what we haven't heard in a while, and it's coming off of the heels of the last couple of weeks. We've heard of Ukraine taking territory and all of that. So realistically, out of nowhere today, you kind of had a brand new Russian escalation. Even the Russian stock market dropped 8%. Surprisingly, last time that happened was just a couple days after the Fed meeting in June. But anyways, just all of the stocks went up. Wheat, corn, commodities, fertilizer, oil, and natural gas were kind of in the middle, but then LMT and defensive names, they ran. So watch these coming into tomorrow, just in case if it comes out. Apparently at 1 a.m. Eastern, we'll hear from Putin, so we'll quickly learn if this is going to be something or not, but definitely watch out for them. That is play number 1. Then play number 2, baby. Apple and Tesla. You've already heard this before, and I want you to understand this, because a lot of people are saying, wait, why would you short them? Look at them. They've been killing it, but literally relative strength. They have been stronger relative to the S&P and almost every other name. That means they are doing good. That means they're outperforming. When I am bearish, to me, that means they are the cheaper short. That means they got meat on the bone. So, like I'm saying, I'm going to be holding these coming into Powell, and really, if you're not going to be playing bank stocks, commodities, or even if tomorrow gets confusing, just watch it. Keep it simple coming into the next few days. If it is going to be broader negative and everybody feels the pain, and Powell could bring that, I would watch these names and see if they give up. If not, you could really just focus on the index, but this is why I'm holding them, going to be watching them. I think these will be very important, especially in the nature of going down and whether or not we're going to hit new lows, because they have carried a lot of weight. But that is play number 2. And then finally, baby, /ZQZ22. This sounds like a Star Wars robot, bro, but this is a future, and this is the Fed future, and I went short on it today. And honestly, I wish this wasn't a future, because I wish there was other ways for other people to find plays and go about it. Again, you could go after TLT and bonds, but it truly is different in this sense. But this is the literal Fed futures. You can trade them. So I took a short in /ZQZ22, the extra 3 three letters, that defines the date. I went to the December contract. So this contract right here, I literally shorted that today. So essentially, if rate hike odds after Powell, if they keep going up or even to the end of the year, that's how we would make money. So regardless of if Powell goes crazy with 100 basis points or 75, this thing can still move. So like I'm saying, even though it's a future, it could be good practice, and maybe you want to paper trade it and see how it moves. But this could be one of those easy plays where it's like, hey, if we really see the summary of economic projections, whatever happens tomorrow, if it does end up leaning, yeah, okay, Powell definitely is going to be raising more, this thing by nature should run. And really, they've been quite docile over the last couple of weeks, so there might be some room to run on there. So watch out for that. We made a play on that, but those are the main plays. As far as everything else, I don't know what happened, but as far as the trades that I made today, I made a day trade on CRNC, 100 shares. They had news with like a NVIDIA partnership. I actually took a $70 loss, popped. It didn't end up breaking out, came down. I said, all right, I'm out. Don't want to do anything. And then you'll notice the ZQ trade, I shorted that literally within 30 seconds of the market opening. I wanted to see how it would move, but you'll notice I had a trade there at 3:30 in the morning. I woke up in the middle of the night. I had this idea yesterday. Again, I said it on the watch list where I'm saying we might have a mini rally. I was thinking about it last night. It was too expensive. I woke up to go pee. And then I wanted to check, and I was like, oh, it's cheap. So I said, I'm going to buy it and ride it into it. It was a weird one, okay? But I wanted to hold it throughout the day, and I figured when I show you the rest of the trades I'm holding, again, I told you I'm bearish leaning into this. I bought a lot of short plays that were holding. I had a lot of exposure to the downside, not much upside. I thought this could allow me a play where I could bought it yesterday. I was hoping to ride it up today and then sell out right before Powell. I'm still holding it. This was the play. I was down like 2,700 at one point today. At like the very low, I was only down like 300 when it bounced. And even now, I'm holding down 900. But idea was I want to play this one leading into Powell, get out of it, and then ride the rest of my shorts through. So I am still holding it. Those were the only plays. But now let's go into what we are holding. And as you see there, that's the top one. And then go below it. Again, I have the micro, two of them. So it was making back some of it, and you could kind of see the balance. So still holding that. The Apple, it says I'm down 150, but remember that issue yesterday. I was down 150 yesterday, so I'm really down $300 on this one. Again, it has been running, but I'm still holding it. I may even want to add more. We'll see how I'm feeling with it. The Google, we're up on that, but I'm still holding, again, that key level from earlier. IYT and the travel, those are still doing good. And that's some of the more downside. The Netflix play, the example, we were down like $100 today, only 50. Again, still holding that. And then the Tesla down $700. And then the Take-Two is below that. We're positive on that. And then again, Yash is still clapped. Also the Adobe, and then I'm holding the UNG, and they're still kind of down. Again, those are the only other updates, I think. The Coinbase put, that was that one following the merger. It's like barely up. And then like SMMT, still holding that one down 100, but it's a lot smaller than any of these. So riding all these through, my plan is I'm going to sell that big ES by tomorrow before Powell. We'll see what happens, win or loss. I'm sure it's going to be exciting. Then ride through, interpret, and then maybe reposition or maybe kind of chill out after what we saw today. But I hope you're ready. That is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate healthy, ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to be wise, baby. Wisdom, knowledge, discipline. It's not going to hurt you. These are the moments. Go slow, but be wise. That's what you got to think about right now. Respond. It's okay to be wrong as long as you can adapt in this market. I don't know if they hear me, Chad. And that's what I'm saying. You got to be nimble, Chad. You're made for this. You're built for it. You've lasted 9 months of this. You've already learned how to, to maneuver. So let's go, baby. It's game time. Anything could happen tomorrow. Know what you're getting into. And don't forget, it's always better to be late than wrong. We're going to have excitement, and it's not even about tomorrow. It's leading into way more. In chat, I hope you're ready for the final quarter, but I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. It's going to be a great one. And then that's it. I'm just drink the water. I pray for me, pray for you. I'll pray all of it, baby. Finger to the sky. It's game time, baby. I love you, Chad. God bless the positivity, and let's go, baby.